Hey there, Course 1. This lesson reviews the order of operations and gets us a little bit further into it. It's the part 2. Order of operations is super important and can be very confusing, misleading to the brain. Hard to keep it straight sometimes when you look at something like 2 times 8 plus 2 times 6. Okay, we have to follow a certain order. We can't just go whatever order we want, and it's not just left to right. We have to follow the order of operations, which are to perform operations within the parentheses, if any, multiply and divide, then add and subtract. Another way to think of it is PEMDAS, parentheses and exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. If there's a divide before multiply, then you do the divide. It's all about going left to right. You subtract before you add if the subtract is further to the left, right? Now with example 1, I would think 2 times 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18, times 6 is 108. But that would be wrong. That was going purely left to right. But instead, you do parentheses, which there are none. Then you multiply 2 times 8, which we said was 16, but you don't add the 2. You follow PEMDAS. Is there any more multiply before I do any add subtract? Yes, there is 2 times 6, which is 12. Then we get to add subtract 16 plus 12 is a much smaller number. It's 28. You can actually check on your calculator if your calculator can do this, which would be very convenient. I'm guessing a lot of your lower level calculators don't, but to test, you can type in the problem we just did. Type in 2, multiply 8, plus 2, multiply 6, hit the equals, and it should come out 28. If it doesn't, and it's like the 108 or whatever, it does not have algebraic logic is what we call it. What if it asks us to simplify 5/10 plus 5/10 divided by 5/10, subtract 5/10 times 5/10? Which parts we got to do first? It's not left to right. You don't do the plussing first at the beginning here. In example 2, you start with multiply divide. According to order operations, we do 0.5 divided by 0.5, which would be, you just like put little arrows going up to the 1. And then 0.5 times 0.5 would be 0.25. Then we had this subtract sign, so don't forget that. And this is still here with the plus sign. So now it's just adding and subtracting. Now we go left to right. 0.5 plus 1 is 1.5. Minus 0.25 is going to be 1.25, I think. If you're not sure how I did that, you can read through the explanation down here or rewatch. Order of operations one more time. This means 2 times 8 plus 6. The 3 ways to show times are with the multiply sign, the dot, or just by setting them next to each other in parentheses. So this right here, we're getting a timesing multiply right here. 2 times 8 plus 6. Now, we do parentheses first, meaning if there's anything in the parentheses, we have to do that before anything else. Even though it's addition, we do 8 plus 6 is 14. Are all the parentheses gone? Only these which mean to multiply. So we multiply. 2 times 14 is 28. Why don't you try letter A, letter D, and letter F?